Hello and welcome to Crew 42's coverage of the 2025 Greater Peoria Open. This is our round 2 front 9 coverage for the Northwood Park, our Northwood Black layout for our MPO Lead Card here at Morton, Illinois. My name is Zach O'Haron, and on the commentator's mic with me, I have Sam Smigiel. How we doing?
I'm doing great, Zach. Day 2 at Northwood. Today we are playing shorts. So definitely more scoreable. Players are going to be wanting to get aggressive, get as many birdies as possible. We saw Northwood show its teeth yesterday, and there's definitely teeth on the shorts, but there's also a lot more birdies. So let's see what these guys can do.
I think a few years ago, before we started doing coverage with GPO, they had some 14 downs and some double digits down, so we'll see if the magic can happen. A new face on the channel, Chris Reliford, local here in Illinois. Local. He lives in Illinois. That's considered local to me, just so we're clear. And we also have Adrian back on the channel, who we saw at the Three Rivers Open in last year's coverage. Jumping over to hole 1, this one doesn't have a short pad. 455, you're going to have to throw the same shot. See if you can keep it in the tunnel, penetrate into the green, give yourself a chance at a birdie. OB on the left, OB long, and don't take bogey, because then you're losing strokes.
Yeah, I love this as an opening hole. The birdie is there for you. It's just, throw a straight driver, throw a straight mid-range. The fairway's there. This has to get through, and it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. Slow down, and that's the danger of that. Gets past the fence, and GT's going to be OB with a long look at bogey, or par, rather.
Oh, that looked nearly... If it misses that tree, that might have been a really good line to get into the green.
And I like this line that Zach is taking, throwing that flex forehand. This will be a little bit high, stalling out, but he's going to have himself a putt, actually getting a lot closer than I thought he would. But that's going to be fading away from the OB, so definitely a lot safer shot.
Got another forehand specialist here with Adrian. He throws a lot of forehands. He throws them pretty far, too. We'll see what he can do and how his plays compare to Zach's. But he'll be out there, long look for a birdie. Chris, though, first from the hill.
Yeah, you do see quite a few drives end up there. If you hit any of the trees, kicking to the right's pretty common, or players that are throwing the forehand that just don't quite finish their shot will stall out over there, and really just giving yourself a nice up and down. GT looked like he was kind of giving that a run.
Yeah, I mean, there's no risk involved with that type of approach, but it can lead to disaster if you're off your line a little bit there. Plenty of trees in his way. Adrian off on his bid. Zach gets the birdie. Right off the rip, he's going to tie our co-leaders of Chris and GT. You talked about this last round. I asked you, a good score from the longs, anything under par, evens still. Last round was rated 1028. What is the score these players are looking for in this round to try to move up the leaderboard?
I mean, on this course, you're really trying to shoot double digits.
Okay.
Anything in double digits, there's definitely chances to bogey out here, so there's still trouble. But I mean, you're really trying to get past that 10 down marker, and that's going to make a push.
And a lot of these short pad positions, it feels like they just kind of put you in either the first tee shot's a little easier or a little different, or they kind of put you in a great spot for the initial drive from the longs. This one is just kitty corner, so you're just getting to throw a stock forehand or backhand here for Zach and just get down this tunnel as much as you can to give yourself a easier approach. Zach's done a nice job with his turn over putter backhand. Do you like this putter backhand play more, or do you think it shapes up better for a forehand off the tee?
I think either play is fine. The turnover play is maybe a little bit tighter of a line, but you can probably get a little bit further down the fairway. I don't think there's a bad play on this one. See, Adrian threw it to pretty good position. I think he's going to be looking right down the fairway. See, 3 out of 4 players on this card are going to go backhand. And I think what that is the forehand, when it's hyzering to the gap, then you have a chance of kind of skipping out of that perfect landing zone. Throwing that turnover backhand, you have a lot more room for error.
Adrian getting aggressive on this approach and being rewarded. Spectacular second shot from Adrian. Gets himself next to the basket in the bullseye.
Yeah, loving that right there.
That was he had to push that left side quite a bit. GT trying to push that side with a turnover. Ooh, doesn't get the favorable kick this round. He is going to be circles 2.
Yeah, hits the line today and not rewarded.
Looks like a last-minute switch up for Chris. Was thinking a backhand. He's a little pinched on the line. Decides to just lay up to the corner. Not play anything too risky.
Yeah, and then what you see Zach dealing with here is the challenge in throwing that side armor for him, the backhand, where you're going to be a little bit more pinched. The fairway gets a little bit tighter. So really forced into a very specific shot to get down there. But it's going to have a long putt. This looks early.
Okay, skims past it.
It's okay. Oh, better than okay.
Yeah, it looks like he won't be punished for the play to play safe. Zach now from distance. Over the top. Stays relatively close, though, I think.
It's a tough-looking putt here for GT. He's got to challenge that last tree. He's got some branches and just can't quite get it to hyzer around that tree.
Chris now for his par. Gets it. Fun note before we get too far into the course, the par is the same. Every hole has the exact same par.
Really?
Yeah, I did not know that. When I was doing kind of score sheets for this round, I was looking. Oh, jeez. I was kind of looking at stuff and realized that all the pars are the same. So on the back nine, I'm going to have some notes on some of those holes. But yeah, interesting enough, it is the same par, which is why those double digits is very attainable here. Hole 3, 453. You don't have to throw down the tunnel. You're just at the end of the tunnel, and now it's about how far you can get up this fairway to give yourself the most doable approach. Do you think this green is reachable from here? Good answer.
I really don't think so, man. It's like you would have to get really, really silly off the tee. You're still throwing the chip forehand. Like, yeah, look at this. You'd have to go so far right. I've never even looked at attacking the green. It's just not there.
When you film Simon Lizotte, you learn to think to look to the basket sometimes. And sometimes you ask silly questions while you're at it. I agree. I don't think this one's really reachable, even if you had infinite power to go over the top.
Maybe Zach can throw a backhand cut roller that flips up at the last second.
That's it. I'm making you caddy for him next year so you can tell him to do that so I can film it.
Zach, please don't do that.
I tried. Chris with a forehand. High and hyzering. This looks good.
Yeah, just a lot of stock plays here. Just make sure you're not leaving it too far short. And actually going a little bit long now does play into the tee shot. So you can't go too far off of this tee shot, where from the standard tee pad, going long is not as in danger.
It's kind of hard, honestly. You'd have to turn it over, really, to get to that tree line, it feels like. All right, how do we do here on our approaches? Chris up first.
Yeah, so everyone's in a pretty good position. Now you're going to be seeing a lot of this, straight putter shots, maybe a little flex forehand. And Zach's kind of pinched off into a position. The roller might get him, to the top of the hill. I think he's really just kind of happy to get anywhere near the basket where he can see it, and he's going to be really happy with that.
Yeah, it gets down into the gully. Is that what it's called? It's called a gully?
Yeah, it'll be a gully today.
Sure.
I'm sure you'll hear in the comments.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't wait. Someone's going to tell.
I can't believe he called it a gully.
That's it. Fire me. GT hits that big tree that guards the basket. It's going to leave him up on the hill. Still a putt, though. Circle's edge. Ooh, that looks not committed with the Berg, I think. From Adrian, he'll be on top of the hill.
Still edge of circle, though. He's still got a putt.
Chris up first from 55.
What a putt.
Committed, pure the whole way. Great first birdie to get on the day.
Yeah, really good job cleaning it up after not the best up shot and executing a great putt. You could really see the confidence after he let that go. Was already had as many in his hand before he even hit the chains.
Yeah, he was pretty far away. It was in the air for a while. GT now, circle's edge. Unable to get that one, misses it low. And now Adrian. A little closer, but higher above the basket. Gets his to go. What's the trick with those downhill putts? Because you want to make sure you get the nose angle down, but it's
all about nose angle control.
Okay.
And if you get the nose angle right, the disc is going to get there, and that's really the big key. And now we see after the first 3 holes that GT is the only one on the card without a birdie. So he's probably feeling that.
Yeah, he's going to want to turn that around soon. Hole 4, 520. You just have less of an initial tunnel. The drone's going on the inside gap. No one's taking that gap. You're going to want to hit as far as you can into the right and then give yourself a shot over this creek and into this fairly well-protected green, honestly.
Yeah, I think a lot of players are going to be throwing kind of a backhand at the tree, kind of that big tree. Adrian is going to be, I bet Adrian is going to be taking that left side gap. Oh, so a little earlier. I think he was going for that gap that the drone flew, where if you're taking the forehand, that is a really good play because it's going to fade. It's the most open gap over there, and it's going to fade you away from the creek, which is going to give you a more open shot at the basket.
Shangadoodle from Chris there gets a great kick back out to the fairway. You should have, at worst, a pitch to the corner. Might have a way of finagling to the green. Here's Zach's. I think this is the Chally OS.
Yeah, and Zach also leaves it a little bit early, but misses the tree, and he's going to be still in position to get up and down.
Oh, boy. You see the frustration from GT. That was not well thrown. He's now in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, now it's just about staying composed. Oh, and you can't do that.
Now at best he can get par, and it's still going to take a phenomenal shot here just to get a look at it. Looks like he's trying to cut the corner. Oh, does not like it.
I give him a skip. Oh, and he'll be short of the creek, and that's a long putt if he's got to look at it. Chris left with a challenging angle. Looks like he's going with something pretty understable, just trying to get it to fight all the way there. And
wow,
really well done.
Had to challenge the ceiling there to do it, too.
The tight gap for Adrian, where he's going to have to be kind of doing that same thing. He's going inside.
Hit the bridge. Oh, dang it.
Interesting. It looks like he was really just trying to leave that to, short of the basket. He really wasn't going for it. Once again, this creek is a casual water it plays today, so it is not OB. And so I think that's maybe part of the reason why Adrian chose to throw the shot he did.
Yeah, I think that's his disc in front of it. He gets to play it directly back from the basket, so he's a little farther behind this bridge now. And gets the disc up and down nicely. He'll be parked for his 4.
Okay, here it is again. It's going to be perfect. This is going to be under the basket, folks. I've never seen him mess up the shot. What'd I tell you?
That was his worst one yet. Now he's 6 feet away. This is a tricky putt. He's got to putt through the kind of tree line here.
Oh, what a putt.
Sure. Finds the gap, gets himself a birdie, and Zach is having himself 2 through the first 4. Just off for Chris.
It just doesn't quite give that one enough. Adrian's going to be tapping in his par. Zach and Adrian both got half the birdies so far. If you can keep that pace up for the rest of the round, then you're going to have yourself a good round.
Yeah, you're doing just fine. And you definitely feel the energy from the card right now is shifting a little bit. It feels more of a race. They feel like it's birdie or it's not really birdie or die, but it feels that energy right now from the card as we move on a hole 5, which also doesn't have a short because it plays as one of the easiest par 4s on tour. And as you mentioned, it's just a putter backhand to, what'd you say, to what? To
230 to 255.
Okay.
And you really have speed control is key there. There is about basically, just a little bit less than a putting circle of a landing zone. And you'll either have a putter turnover or a little chip forehand to the basket. But really, this is about throwing it straight and having speed control. I really like holes like this on a big, challenging course.
What just happened there? He hit a tree, and it started to continue flipping after it hit the tree?
Yeah, he's, I don't know, he's just got crazy RPMs on his disc. I don't know.
I wish I could get RPMs at a 220 disc like that. That's crazy. Fine shot there from Adrian.
Maybe a little short of ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is early, and that is not what you want off the tee.
Yeah, can't make that, especially without the log on the right side. Can't make that mistake. You got to be able to hit this shot. Can GT go 2 for 2?
It's inside, missed the last tree, and that's a fantastic. You can't draw it up any better than that.
Twice now, GT is finding the perfect landing zone. Chris now trying to get there. This looks flipped a little too much.
And the danger of that shot is going too far past the landing zone. And now you can see that Chris is still scrambling. Has a line at the basket, though.
Yeah, gets himself up into circle's edge. Maybe, yeah, right on the edge, maybe just inside.
Adrian having to go with a little bit of a flex. But that's thrown well. Slows down. And he's putting for birdie. Zach's just going to be chipping this up and down. It looks good. Slow down.
Looks really easy from him, just stock hyzer. And GT now with a chance to get one of those bogeys back from the beginning of the round. And I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, well, once again, 2 days in a row, stress-free birdie. Feels good on this hole.
Chris to save par. Ooh, had some pace on that putt, but
yeah, Chris's putting stroke is looking really confident right now. He's been a little bit off in the throwing, but his putt has been very direct and it's got pace. Looking very strong on the putting green.
Couple tap-ins for birdie, and that's going to move us over to hole 6 next, which does have a short pad, but it remains a par 5. 790. What is the change here, and what's the chances of you still getting that birdie?
So you don't have to throw a turnover. You're just throwing a straight shot. Distance throwers have a chance to push this back wall of trees. You're going to be probably 500 feet close to it to get to those trees. And then if you can, then you'll have about 250 feet to get up and down for birdie. But challenging those trees on the back wall. You're having to throw it really far, really straight. So it's quite aggressive. I think we'll see a lot of players go with the mid-range off the tee just to kind of control the right to left and then give themselves an easy birdie.
This needs a nudge.
But I don't know. I mean, this is one of those holes that can be really tempting to go for the eagle.
Yeah. I think the more lead arm has the opportunity to try to push it into that corner.
And that's exactly what Adrian was trying to do.
Holds on to it too long, but
not punish too much. I mean, he's still in position where he can chip it around the corner and get a birdie.
I really like your suggestion too. If you're just, I mean, you can throw buzz again to the corner and you're sitting in a great spot. GT here is sitting in the Plinkos, but really he just needs to throw a little pitch, kind of almost a jump putt to the corner, and he'll have a up and down opportunity for birdie. You just need to stay clean off this tee as long as possible to make it a easier opportunity.
Yeah, Chris is going to be giving this a little go, although his highs are out, not quite going to get there. I think
he's in the path.
Chris a little bit, but more so GT. I'm wondering if he's going to have that forehand roller. There's a lot of little lanes through those trees, and if you can get the forehand roller down with something flippy enough, the hill kind of pulls the disc over to keep it from going too far straight. And so we may see...
Could see some fireworks.
We may see some rollers coming up.
You know, there is a path off to the left side. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And all I heard all week was, you know, everyone who landed near is like, Freddie did it. Freddie went for it once and got it, and everyone trying to egg each other on to go for it.
Oh, wow.
And every single person is smart enough not to do that. I think Chris is right in that area of that kind of path, but I don't even think a perfect shot gets to the green, although it leads in that direction.
Yeah, I would love to get a good look at that. I never looked at it from that perspective. You know, you see the path, but I'm not thinking like, oh, maybe I'll throw
cut
a disc
the corner.
down there.
Yeah. Adrian didn't get out of the woods there for two throws. Finally gets out to the corner up there. We'll see what he has available to himself.
Yep,
Yeah,
here's
there's
that
the path.
roller. Oh, whoa.
Yeah. I feel like if you penetrated it in there, I'm not saying you should try to do that. That seems hard, but if you did, you never know. Looks like he gets caught up early from Chris there. Not too far around the corner.
Yeah, so this is just don't hit a tree initially and make sure you throw something that's going to turn over. This is great. Maybe a little short of what he wanted, but it's around the corner, and he's going to have a chance for a birdie.
This is not an easy shot. Adrian turning this thing over. It's got to go.
That's great.
Wow.
You can see it's throwing a slower disc, so he had to put a lot of pace on that. Really well controlled with the angle and the speed.
Chris isn't quite to the corner, so he's having to throw an Anheuser, trying to push it, and those tree limbs are going to take his pace off, and he's not going to go down into the drop-off over there, but he is near the edge of it.
See Zach in a similar position, a little further right, so he may be able to see the basket or close to it. Kind of going with that chop forehand, let it pan out, and yeah,
by the
giving
same
yourself
tree
a
again.
putt.
Yeah, round one, he landed next to that tree. See if he can get a redemption putt at that. And here's GT. Made this approach look really easy yesterday.
Yeah, being here after two. Yeah, these two holes, like he's... Okay, those two birdies, great. I mean, hole five, you know, you're expecting to get a birdie on hole five, but to really be stress-free on this one, I guess a little stress on his roller. You know, you're never sure you're going to get through, but very happy to get that birdie as well.
See if Zach can get some redemption from yesterday. Get a long putt here on 6. Yes, sir. Finally gets one of those long putts to go. He's got 4 birdies in the first 6 holes. He is setting the pace needed to stay up top the leaderboard here. Chris chaining out left side. on his putt. And we're going to have some tap-ins here. Honestly, considering Adrian went forward 30 feet on 2 throws there on the right side of this fairway, to take only just a bogey here is, I mean, just a credit to that final approach shot to get himself into the bullseye. It was a great shot.
That it was.
Going to play some long holes here, actually. These 7 and 8 don't have short positions, so 325 still here. Par 3, as you mentioned, I do too. I like this left gap. The drone's going to take this kind of right, kind of turnover-ish kind of gap that you're trying to poke through these trees with, but if you can hit that left gap with a forehand or a turnover backhand, though, that's really the best gap you can take to try to get into this green. There's OB stakes on the right side, but I don't believe it played OB this weekend. Is that correct?
Did not play OB this weekend. You'll see a lot of players want to throw a flex forehand, or what Zach's doing here with the lefty shot.
Stay in the air. Stay in the air.
Get there. The fairway, like the basket is a little bit right of the fairway. So it tempts a lot of players into throwing kind of a fairway flex. I like what GT's doing here and just throwing the backhand, trying to kind of sneak through those trees, it looks like. I prefer to go on the left side fairway, and then if you miss it, you might go straight.
Right. You know, and you mentioned this in round 1 too. I like this idea where if you happen to go straight, you don't get the turn, right? Any right movement on that shot. You're really just putting yourself circle's edge just on the left as long as you hit the gap.
Yeah.
Right? You're not trying to play through the poke and pray. You're not trying to get it into bullseye. It's like bullseye's the goal, but really the shank, as long as you hit the gap, is circle's edge.
Yeah,
which
and I think that's what Chris was trying to do. Like the way he threw that shot makes me think he was going for the left gap, and he kind of erred on the right gap, which didn't get through, but sometimes they do.
Easy enough for him to approach. This is a hole that you do not want to take bogey on. You'll be losing strokes on the field, as taking a look at stats right now, over 81% of the field taking a par or better.
Long look for Zach. Would really like to get this to have 5 birdies on the front.
No.
Oh, get in there.
He wanted it to. Adrian with a great drive gets a chance for birdie. Yes, sir. Rights the ship from hole 6. He's back on track. 4 birdies through the first 7.
Adrian really showcasing his forehand there. Threw a slower disc, which if you're throwing the forehand, then I definitely preferred where you can keep the disc a lot straighter. He was never in danger of hitting a tree.
I want to say it was a 4-speed. Adrian, get in the comment section. Tell us what disc that was. I don't want to make a bad guess, but it was very slow. Hole 8, 389 feet. OB on the right side. You got to avoid it. Our round 1, we saw 3 of our card members getting the OB early. How tight is that gap off the tee? How hard is it to get into this green?
To get to the green is pretty tough because, the initial gap, it's tight, but it's there for you. The danger is this OB right, and you want to go as straight as possible. Adrian's showing us exactly how it's done, where you flip it up just not quite to flat so it doesn't have any danger of turning over. Really the mistake you want to make, if you're going to make a mistake, is on this left side where we see Zach going. A lot of right-handed players are going to hyzer to the high left side of the basket and leave themselves like a circle's edge putt from that hill. But biggest priority here is to just hit the gap with something that's stable enough that's not going to flip over into the OB. And luckily, we don't have a ton of wind today, so just pick your favorite disc to do that. And unfortunately, we are not going to see Chris get through.
Yeah, first 3 able to get past that first initial layer of trees. Chris just tickles the last one.
There's the run.
He wanted it.
I like that. I like the run on that. It's relatively safe if you don't throw it too high.
Yeah, good jump putt approach for GT. This is a free run for Zach, I think. Sit. Yep, it's gonna stay in bounds. And that felt like worst case scenario. Like it's like it teased like it was going towards OB, but I don't think it really ever has a chance of going OB.
Yeah, he had good pace on his putt. Didn't have too much danger. Adrian able to show us the birdie, and they were going to be, tapping in for a couple pars and a bogey from Chris.
It's going to move us over to hole 9, which is playing as one of the most difficult birdies to get in the long position. In the short, however, it's a very achievable birdie. 564. What do you need to do to get a look at the birdie opportunity?
This kind of squiggly tree in the middle here, if you get anything past that, kind of slowly drifting to the left, you're going to be landing right about here, and then you've got 200 to 250 feet to the basket. Pick a putter to go straight at it, forehand around the outside. Fairway's there for you. Just got to throw 2 good shots, and this is, I would guess this is going to play a good bit under par.
It's going to leak out early for Adrian. On the left side there, see if Zach is going to change. Nope, he's just going to go with, looks like a Chally OS, turned over a little bit. Perfect spot in the fairway.
Yep, we saw Zach yesterday throw that putter on the really tough stretch of 12 to 15, just a lot, and keeping it controlled, keeping it in the middle, which is really important. Distance off this tee shot's not terribly important. Looks like Chris is going to get a little bit more aggressive. This needs to fade. Just keep fading, keep fading.
Gets a lot of distance off that.
Yeah, really, really challenge that back wall of trees. I know you didn't want to push that far to the right, but mixes up and down very short.
Ooh, rough roll off the base of that tree there for GT. Had opportunity to sneak in closer in circle 1 if it didn't bump that.
Putter. Is this going to get through?
No, it's going to get knocked down. Taking a look at stats right now, I just realized that in the front 9 for round 1, only 2 holes played under par. And for this round, only 2 holes played over par.
Ooh.
So, just kind of shows you the drastic switch in scoreability on this course, playing from longs to shorts, where the par 5s, are really par 5s. The par 4s are tough par 4s, but now they're very scoreable. You can get into position a little more easily. Like this hole, you'd have to throw a perfect shot to get any opportunity to get towards the green, and now it's how much distance can you get to make it easier. Oh boy, this is gunned.
Oh, wow.
Sails it past the basket.
So much pace on that.
Tickles the chains there from distance for GT. Doesn't fall. Here's Adrian now from a knee. Not able to get that.
See Zach from about 40 feet. Right off the top. Not going to see a birdie.
There's Chris on his comeback putt.
Well, no, I guess Chris has got a chance here. He's putting for birdie. Come on, Chris. And none of our players able to make their putts for birdie, and all with some comeback putts for par.
which is in fact losing strokes in the field. This hole played considerably easy in the short position, averaging 3.69, almost a third of a stroke under par. 1 out of 3 getting the birdie. Adrian losing even more than that as he takes in a bogey. Chris with his par and GT just this short tap in, although you got to give it the respect. He got a bit of a spit in round 1.
Yeah.
Got to be careful out here, but we've seen some movement now on our leaderboard as our leaders are struggling a little bit on the front, very scoreable front 9. And Zach and Adrian have gotten plenty of birdies, getting themselves under par now. And it's a race. We're trying to see what can happen on the back 9. Can they keep the momentum going? If you haven't already, please consider liking, subscribing, hit that notification bell, get more information when we post new events. And part of our Patreon family, check it out. It's an easy way to support us and continue to keep us on the road and doing more events. Sam, thanks so much for joining me.
Happy to be here, Zach. We'll see you for the back 9.